vision syndrome, or CVS, is a collection of eye and vision problems caused by the utilization of digital devices. With the outbreak of the COVID-19, the educational institutions shifted from the traditional classroom teaching toward online classes. Digital devices became the primary tool for teaching and communication. Students are exposed to digital devices for a longer length of time, and this may affect their ocular health and thus may result to computer vision syndrome. Good day, I am Kir Kizziah C.
I'm Joefferson B.
I'm Andrea Guanzon.
I'm Daenna Jereza.
And I am Sheila Mae Lampria.
We present to you our research paper entitled Incidence of Computer Vision Syndrome Among Nursing Students.
This study aimed to determine the incidence of computer vision syndrome among nursing students. Specifically, the study sought to answer the following questions. Number 1, what is the demographic profile of nursing students according to sex, year level, frequently used device, and length of digital screen time per day? Number 2, what is the incidence of computer vision syndrome among nursing students in terms of frequency and intensity? Number 3, is there a significant relationship between the incidence of computer vision syndrome among nursing students and profile variables are the sex, year level, frequently used device, and length of digital screen time per day?
This study utilized the descriptive research design in this quantitative study in order to describe the variables and relationships associated with this research problem, procuring information in a systematic order to provide a comprehensive picture of the phenomenon, such as the incidence of computer vision syndrome among nursing students.
The participants of the study are the third and fourth year nursing students from a local university where the researchers are also enrolled. With a total population of 452 students, the Rouse-Off sample calculator was used to determine the sample size with a 5% margin of error, which gave us the result of 208 students. Stratified sampling was used that divides the population and identifies a proportional sample randomly. All participants are enrolled in online learning for the school year 2021 to 2022, and a wheel of names was used to pick survey participants randomly.
The survey questionnaire is a standardized questionnaire with a Cronbach alpha score of 0.78, and it will be self-administered questionnaire to the participants. The questionnaire will first present the letter of request for the participation of the study. Then, the part 1 of the questionnaire, in which it will involve asking their profile variables, which include age, sex, year level, which type of device used frequently, and length of digital screen time per day. Lastly, the part 2, the computer vision syndrome questionnaire. For the frequency rating scale, our responses are never, occasionally, and often, or always. In the intensity rating scale, the responses are moderate and intense. This part will involve the frequency rating scale and the intensity rating scale of the 16 symptoms. For the frequency rating scale, our responses are never, occasionally, and often, or always. In the intensity rating scale, the responses are moderate and intense.
We will now proceed with the results and discussions of this study. The results shows the participants' demographic profiles. More than 3/4 of the total sample size were female nursing students, and it is evident that there are more third-year nursing students with 125 of them. Additionally, more than 80% of the participants use a smartphone as their online learning device, and the least used is the tablet. When categorized according to the length of digital screen time per day, more than half of the participants are exposed to digital device for 6 to 11 hours, while those who have been exposed to a digital device for less than 6 hours were only about 11%. In relation to our data results, it is shown that females are the most common participants in our study, which were found to be at higher risk for computer vision syndrome. This correlation is in line with the observations of Gelera and Massa 2012, who investigated the effect of gender on tear film evaporation and discovered that females have a much higher evaporation rate, implying a higher risk for computer vision syndrome.
The results illustrate the frequency of computer vision syndrome symptoms. Out of 16 symptoms, 11 were reported to be occasionally experienced by more than 1/8 of the total participants, with itching symptom have the highest percentage that is experienced occasionally, whereas colored halos is the least commonly recognized symptom, implicating that most participants don't experience this kind of ocular issue. Headache was experienced often or always by 40% of the participants, and 50% answered occasionally, implicating that headache is the most common symptom the participants are experiencing. According to Shanta Kumari et al. 2014, individuals using a computer with a very bright screen were more likely to experience headaches, and concerns of dry eyes were more prevalent among students who use a darker screen.
The result presents the intensity of computer vision syndrome symptoms. The majority of participants reported a much higher percentage of moderate than of intense CVS symptoms. Burning had the highest percent of moderate intensity, and feeling that sight is worsening had the lowest percent. The symptoms that revealed a 10% in intense were headache with the highest percent, and difficulty focusing for near vision had the lowest percent. The same study conducted by Shanta Kumari et al. Revealed that using digital devices for an extended period of time is linked to a burning sensation in the eyes. And according to Rashidi and Alomaden, long-term digital device use has been linked to serious eye problems. Given that nursing students have a large number of units, which means participants spend a lot of time in front of a computer screen.
The results show that sex is an indicator of the frequency of eye symptoms, so the null hypothesis is rejected. And the three variables shows that there is no significant relationship, namely are the year level, frequently used device, and length of digital screen time per day. So the null hypothesis is not rejected. These results are supported by the study of Kaya 2021, where they investigated and used a scale to observe the relationship between the eye health and the eye fatigue in online education. And they found out that the eye health of the university students was negatively affected by online education during the COVID-19 pandemic process. Also, as discussed by Abu Dawood et al. 2020, the length of time spent studying was the most statistically significant risk factor, followed by distance from the screen and screen brightness.
The results show that there is no significant relationship between the intensity of eye symptoms and the participant profile variables, indicating that null hypothesis is not rejected. It is understood that the intensity of the eye symptoms only describes experienced eye symptoms of the randomly chosen participants, whether it is moderate or intense. The intensity of the eye symptoms varies subjectively to an individual. Thus, the profile variables are irrelevant to what the participants are experiencing regarding the intensity of the CVS symptoms.
It is concluded that most of the participants are female in third-year level, frequent users of smartphones, and has a 6 to 10 hours and 59 minutes of screen time per day. 11 out of 16 eye symptoms has the highest frequency rate in terms of being occasionally experienced. Majority of eye symptoms experienced by the participants are in moderate intensity. Only profile variables, sex, and frequency of eye symptoms has a significant relationship.
The study's conclusion and findings resulted in recommendations. Nursing school administrators should imply strict adherence when it comes to time allocation for synchronous meetings to ensure that both students and instructors are protected from developing CVS. For the nurse educators, limiting synchronous activities should be taken into consideration to avoid the risk of students and instructors acquiring CVS. There's also a need to present the benefits of anti-blue light eyewear to the parents for them to have an idea of how to minimize their child's chances of developing CVS. Participation of nursing students in symposiums is also recommended, and survey questionnaires should be given after each and every conference to detect who or how many students are developing symptoms of CVS. And lastly, given the country's scarcity of data and information about the topic, future researchers may conduct a study with a broader scope and a larger number of participants.
At the bottom right of our poster, you can see a QR code where you can scan and see our references. Feel free to like, share, and comment on our post. Thank you.